Welcome back to the AI in L&D Weekly. This week, we're going to talk about Claude skills and the n8n AI builder. And then the rest of the articles are about training, and more training. Let's get into it. So first story here, n8n is a workflow automation builder, similar to Zapier, if you've used that, but people have been using it a lot more for building AI workflows and AI agents, although you don't have to include AI in your workflow. I spent a month and a half learning n8n over the summer, so I'm pretty good at it now, I think. But what makes it a lot simpler is they've just added this new build with AI feature. So one of the challenges with n8n is that because there are so many nodes and there's a lot of basic coding that has to happen to connect these nodes together, a lot of what us did was build a custom GPT or Claude project where we loaded in documentation and gave it knowledge around how to build these things. And then we exported a JSON file, which we imported into n8n, and then it built the workflow for us. And then we had to do some manual configuration after that. It worked pretty well, but it was somewhat manual. But now you can just build a workflow with AI. So if you're watching the video, you can just follow me along here. I will describe what I'm doing for those on audio only. So there's a build with AI button. You click it and an AI assistant opens on the side. And then I'm just going to choose one of these example prompts that it's got here. So let's make a pizza delivery chatbot. Sure. And the prompt that comes up is, I need an n8n workflow that creates a chatbot for my pizza delivery service. The bot should be able to answer customer questions about our pizza menu, etc., etc. So I'll let that run. What this does now is it's kind of like those custom GPTs that we were building, but obviously it has instant access to all the nodes and information in n8n. And for anyone who doesn't know what a node is, you can imagine it like a kind of a flow chart. So you're connecting together a bunch of different services, other apps, triggers, outputs, actions, and they appear as little boxes on this canvas, and they're connected by lines, essentially, that show the way work and data flows through this workflow. So now within like 40 seconds, n8n has created a pizza chatbot agent. And again, if you're watching the video, you'll see there's a chat trigger. So I could embed that on my website, or I could replace it with a webhook trigger that would come in from an ordering page on a site or through WhatsApp or whatever. And then it goes to this pizza chatbot agent, which has access to a specific chat model, a memory, and it's created 3 tools for it to use here. So this doesn't do the whole job for you. It's going to tell you what to do. So in the AI assistant, it's got some kind of next steps for you. But I'm going to have to connect credentials. I'm going to have to probably tweak some instructions, update a little bit of code. But this, for anyone who hasn't started to get into workflow automation and wants to try it out, this makes it way easier for you to just get going. Up next, Claude has introduced something called skills. So this is somewhat analogous to maybe a custom GPT, where we are kind of fine-tuning an LLM's ability to do something based on what we specifically need it to do. But Anthropic have gone a slightly different, or quite a different path here with skills. A skill is literally a markdown file, which is kind of like a text file that a computer can read very effectively. A skill is a markdown file that basically gives Claude an instruction for how to do something specific. So as Anthropic say here, Claude can now use skills to improve how it performs specific tasks. Skills are folders that include instructions, scripts, and resources that Claude can load when needed. Claude will only access a skill when it's relevant to the task at hand. And the great thing about skills is that I can just send it to a colleague, send it to a friend. So I could build a skill, say I build a skill that's around like creating assets that are locked into our brand guidelines, colors, fonts, tone of voice, specific language we use, whatever it is, I can just build that once, share it to my entire team, they can load it into their Claude, and they can use it. It makes this kind of narrowing down of your assistant's abilities much more replicable. So I'm going to open up Claude here, and I'm going to ask it, what skills do you have to use? Just to see what skills come as default now in Claude. So if you're not watching, it's saying it's checking available skills to provide a comprehensive list to the user. And it's got creating, editing, and format documents, PDFs, PowerPoints, Excels. It's got a skill creator skill. So if you want to make your own skill, Claude will help you build that. It's got not many more activated, but actually if I go into settings, you'll see that there are a bunch of skills here. So I can either upload a skill if I've made one elsewhere or someone's given me one, or I can activate like Slack GIF creator skill, for example, which describes itself as a toolkit for creating animated GIFs optimized for Slack. So if that's something I want to do, now Claude is able to do that. And if I say, let's make a GIF for Slack, hopefully it should load that skill. Yeah, so it's saying, I'll help you create a GIF for Slack. Let me check out the specialized tool for this. It's now reading the Slack GIF creator skill. And every skill has like a simple summary of it that Claude can start by reading. And then if it decides that that is a skill, it should kind of load actively. It does that, and now it's going to work through whatever custom instructions it has. So yeah, really interesting, slightly different direction that Anthropic's taking here. But in terms of like creating things that are replicable and templated and more nuanced for your organization, if you're in Claude, then give that a go. Okay, next. Now we've got a few big companies that have created AI training products. So Adecco has partnered with Microsoft on something called the Future Skills Program, which says you can gain practical job-ready skills you can use right away. And they say further down here, you can pick your path. So there's an AI accelerator, which is an hour, AI core skills, 70 minutes, capabilities and tools, 140 minutes, applying AI at work, using Microsoft Copilot at work, and then they've got some live AI skills workshops. So really similar to this is Google Skills. So Google Skills is a new platform from Google, similar to Google Digital Garage, if any of you saw that, where Google are just providing free learning and training for people. So it says, whether you're just getting started or looking to deepen your knowledge, future-proof your skills on Google's new learning platform built for you. So maybe let's have a look at one of these. They've got something called AI Boost Bites. So these are like little 10-minute courses on improving your productivity with AI, which ties in with these themes that I've seen coming up over the last few weeks, which is around people being frustrated that they're actually not getting the productivity gains they thought they would out of AI. And the solution to that is training and learning. People need to sit down and learn this stuff and put the time into thinking about how they can optimize their workflow. And Adecco, Microsoft, Google, are all trying to own that space a little bit more. And this is connected to the next piece of news, which is in the latest LinkedIn Learning Report. So LinkedIn Workplace Learning Report, which I've actually not looked at for a while, says that in a world of constant flux, organizations are only adaptable as their people and skills. Half of learning and talent development professionals see a skills crisis. So the quote that they put out is, my executives are concerned that employees do not have the right skills to execute our business strategy. Just want to highlight in a world of constant flux there, flux.am, my company. I've just done a little rebrand, check that out. But yeah, I think we've seen this really emerging when it comes to business strategy. Of course, most companies now have a business strategy that is focused on AI. So a lot of these right skills that employees don't have are going to be around AI, which is why the thing like the Adecco Future Skills Program and the Google Skills Program exist. So we're just going to see a lot more of this stuff, and especially as agents start to come online, because agents are becoming an increasingly useful part of the AI business strategy puzzle. People are going to have to learn how to work with agents as kind of colleagues. So yeah, this is going to be a huge thing coming into 2026. All right, and next is Better Up. So Better Up, if you work in a large organization, you may well have had Better Up coaching. They're basically the biggest coaching as a service company in the world, I think. And what they have done is announced their human and AI coaching for all strategy. So what it looks like this is a kind of companion to Better Up coaching, where you can almost get kind of pre-coached before you speak to a real human being. Obviously, scaling coaching across an entire organization is incredibly costly. So I can imagine from the moment generative AI came out, Better Up were looking into ways to do this. And of course, AI coaches and avatar-based coaching is quite a big growth area. I am personally quite skeptical of it, but obviously Better Up know what they're doing. They've got tons of huge clients, and if people are getting value from this, then fair play to them. So what they've said is Better Up, the global leader in human transformation, today announced a breakthrough suite of new human and AI coaching capabilities that transform episodic programs into continuous intelligent development through Better Up AI. So enterprise companies can drive workforce readiness in an era of constant change. So what they've done is, it sounds like, taken their Better Up learning products and they've kind of exploded those out of more linear experiences into AI-driven adaptive experiences, possibly. And that this, here we go, together they create a shared feedback system, no handoffs, no gaps, no wasted context. Every interaction makes the next one smarter. So there's this AI and your Better Up coach working in concert to support you to develop in the best way possible. Now, I've had some experience of Better Up with a client, and I do have to say their learning experiences were not well received. Their coaching, I think, generally was received fairly well, although I did see that it was getting slightly worse and worse ratings as they scaled across the organization. But yeah, obviously I've not tried this out. I've not actually used Better Up for quite a few years. So, and this is all about kind of democratizing access to coaching, which is probably not a bad thing. Most people get a lot out of coaching once they find the right coach. So one to follow here, I think. And then finally, for actual L&D professionals, ATD, the Association for Talent Development, has now got an Applying AI in Learning certificate. So it says you can become an expert AI user and strategy leader for the price of $2,500. And let's have a look at this course. It's face-to-face. It is learning from one of the field's top AI experts. It's immersive. It's hands-on. Hey, go for it if that's what you want to do. I personally think, in fact, let's just look at who the facilitators are. Josh Cavalier, who is, pretty big voice on LinkedIn, certainly. Let's go to his website, joshcavalier.ai. I do not know this man personally. But yeah, I think you would be best served just experimenting with this stuff, getting stuck in, finding use cases within your organization, and instead spending $2,500 on a bunch of pro accounts and spending that time on YouTube collaborating with your colleagues. But, I also do strongly believe in the power of live, especially in-person learning experiences. So, yeah, hey, if you've got like a training budget that you can access, that you can only spend on training and learning, absolutely splash it on something like this. I'm sure it would be super interesting. And that is it for AI in L&D Weekly. I hope you now have some new things to try out and some new ideas for how AI is going to be affecting your work as an L&D professional. Have a good week.